Hi guys, today is the 26th of November 2019 at 27 minutes past 3 in the morning over here in the UK. And I've talked about this scene before, how it, I think it relates to Iran, Pakistan, Al Qaeda, and ISIS uniting, as well as events unfolding in Syria around the oil. But I've always talked about this 3 and 1 up here, which I see as either the number 31 or the number 13. Well, November doesn't have a 31. We've passed the 13th, so looking at December 13th and December 31st. But also as a cautionary warning, it's past my watch date of January the 2nd, but there's also January the 3rd, 1-3, which is just the day after. So that's just a cautionary warning. I won't be making any videos specifically about it, but just thought as it's one day after, just check that box. Now, I'm more drawn to around the 31st of December or the 3rd of January because we have this scene here which I think relates to the eclipse. Now, all of this is suggesting war with Iran, in my opinion, and around that region. Now, this report came out yesterday, or today for some of you still. Iran poised to strike US-Israeli targets. US forces gear up for action. The USS Lincoln carrier enters the Gulf. Now, you know, we've talked about the USS Abraham Lincoln and the USS Carl Vinson and how they could be sunk in a tsunami-like event in a war with Iran. Could be achieved by underwater explosions, you know, pushing the water towards the US fleet. I've seen that in a movie recently, actually. So the US and Iran ramped up their preparations for direct military engagement on Monday, 25th. A top Iranian general threatened to destroy the US, Israeli, and Saudi Arabia, and the USS Abraham Lincoln carrier strike force moved into position opposite central Iran's coastline. That reminds me of the propaganda video as well, which I showed you guys a couple months ago that Iran released of them destroying the fleet through a tsunami wave. Heavy emphasis on a football game. So again, just going to be checking the dates. Addressing a mass pro-government rally in Tehran, Iran's Revolutionary Guards Chief General Hossein Salami shouted while burning US and Israeli flags, "We have shown restraint and we have shown patience towards the hostile moves of America, the Zionist regime, and Saudi Arabia against the Islamic Republic Iran. If you cross our red lines, we will destroy you. If Iran decides to respond, the enemy will not have security anywhere. Our patience has a limit." Debka's military sources find the clue to Iran's next move in his assertion that his patience has a limit. It indicates that while up till now, Tehran has hesitated to set a date for its next strike on an American or an Israeli target, or both, Iran has now finally decided to go forward. Aware that this strike may come at any moment, CENTCOM Chief General Kenneth Mackenzie predicted on Saturday that Iran will probably launch another attack in the Middle East. He was speaking at a regional security conference at Manama, Bahrain, and noted that despite the American troop build-up in the region, Tehran had not hesitated to attack Saudi oil fields on September 14th. It goes on. But bear in mind, as I talked about, we also have the terrorist attack 9/11 style event, which most likely would be blamed on Iran, which would push war towards Iran in the right direction for these people. And I've talked about how the UK could potentially be the target for that. Biological, chemical, potentially low-grade terrorist level nuclear weapons involved, or detonations involved, potential for public transport, TfL, Transport for London, that kind of thing. Obviously it says in this report a date hasn't been set, but moves are being taken by both sides to move towards this war. And obviously we may have a potential a date, at least a date to watch from this video, where we have a similar theory around Iran and the war and everything else going on there of 31 or 13 or 1-3 for January 3rd. So keep an eye out on those dates for that. The next thing I wanted to talk about is the asteroid theory. Now that comes from iPad Goat 2 as well. I already made a video on it, which is, let me just find it. Here is one of them, which is, aside from the 11.2 Quake part, we've got the 1226 Eclipse asteroid, and this report coming out yesterday, again for me, today still for some of you, is an asteroid warning. NASA tracks a 2,000-foot monster rock on Earth approach day after Christmas, which is the 26th, the day of the eclipse. Obviously that connects to what I just showed you here with the 1226 Eclipse asteroid theory. Now, I don't believe that this asteroid in their report is going to either hit Earth or be the one that I'm potentially talking about, because the one that I've been talking about is one that is not seen. However, a different theory is coming to me, and it's taken again from the iPad Go 2 scene, but it was while I was looking at this scene here, and I was thinking about this as the moon. You can see the craters, it's shaped like the moon, but it's in a crescent, and it could also be depicting an eclipse, but with the 31 translation that doesn't connect to the 26th of December. However, if the asteroid meteor strike, and I say that with air quotes though you can't see it, was to strike somewhere, what about striking the moon? A large strike on the moon could create a lot of debris, could surround the moon in dust, which obviously with the light filtering through that dust towards the Earth could appear to be red. That could also result in a meteor shower or meteor-like shower, whether that's bits of the asteroid from the collision with the moon or bits of the moon itself. Another possibility, that could also connect to like the 3 days of darkness. You know, all that dust could have an effect on the sunlight, with them have an effect on the sunlight, but also obviously the moon is connected to the tides and the waves, has an effect on volcanoes and earthquakes, so potentially an asteroid strike with the moon, if it was large enough, could actually result in a lot of turmoil here on the Earth, volcanoes erupting, earthquakes, and tsunamis being generated. So that's just one of the theories I thought I'd put out there. It's not one that I thought of before, but as I was looking at this scene, as I was thinking of the date after, you know, the 26th, well, sorry, as I was thinking of the date being after the 26th, it kind of just made me start thinking. And then with the theory of the collision causing sort of like a meteor shower, I was reminded of Japan having their technology satellite to create an artificial meteor shower. The JAXA Epsilon 4 rocket carries a satellite developed by Astrolife experiences that will deliver display above Hiroshima. Now obviously that technology can be expanded. So Japan's space agency has launched a rocket carrying a satellite capable of delivering an artificial meteor shower into the Earth's atmosphere. The Epsilon 4 rocket lifted off from the JAXA, not gonna bother, Space Center, carrying the first of 2 microsatellites built by Tokyo-based startup Astrolife Experiences. Now obviously the whole moon impact theory, again, as I said, is said with air quotes because holographic technology can be used, you know, to make it appear such things are happening. When I was watching the news the other day, they were talking about this streak of fire in the sky that looked like, some people thought it looked like a plane had gone down, some people thought it was a meteor, but nothing could be found. So stuff like that could potentially be, you know, tests of technology that would display such things and make us believe such things. And again, these kind of technologies, you know, artificial meteor showers, holographic technology combined with bombs and nuclear weapons can make things, you know, look and feel very real, and the brain is easy enough to trick. You know, you just have to throw off a few senses, and that's it. The brain tries to adjust, and you know, you can get fooled that way. That's the end of the video. I just wanted to present those news stories and my theories, connecting them with the iPad Go 2 video, the possibility of a meteor strike on or around the 26th of on or around the 26th of December, but potentially not with the Earth, potentially with the Moon, which could connect a whole bunch of different events, causing them to unfold in a different way than we've actually been looking at previously. So with that said, you guys have a good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and may the Heavenly Father bless you.